back now to our top story.
It is time for leaders in our country to bind together and send a strong message to the young men who are wreaking havoc on our streets. That stern warning coming from community activist, leader of Reach Out Youth Organization, Dudley Said. Speaking to the character of the man who became Grand Bahama's first murderer, Said said that he was always someone who assisted at Reach Out Youth Center.
He worked around the center. He normally, when I asked him to cut the trees, edging around the center, he's very quiet. So I was so surprised when I heard that he got shot. He might make a little bit of noise, but he's a peaceful person to me. I know him for the past 30 years or so. But he's a helpful person around the community. Anybody who wants to get their yard weed, if you want your yard cut, he'll also always assist in that. So it's sad that we have our first murder for the island of Grand Bahama.
Said is challenging the government, the leader of the opposition, as other heads of major organizations to band together to curb violence that is negatively impacting our nation. Said made this impassionate plea, emphasizing the need for everyone to be on one accord.
We can put all the measures we want in the world until we get to the root of it. I know a lot of people trying to say it's gang. Yes, some of it is gang related. But the whole thing that I am seeing, what I'm watching, the government has to put everybody in the room. Carlos Reed, myself, Darren Roll, and different persons in organization, businessmen, politicians, the clergy in one room, for us to figure out a solution, how we could get these kids to stop killing each other. Because all they're doing, if you look at it, is destroying the next generation.
This Grand Bahamian who continues to work to better the lives of young men sends his appeal to the man at large.
Fitzgerald, if you're listening, turn yourself in. You can turn yourself in at the Reach Out Community Center. I'll bring you in. I know you might be confused for what happened, but turn yourself in, please. If you don't, the police is coming at you because they consider you armed and dangerous. So the best thing you can do is give me a call, 441-1229, and I will turn you in and make sure that you're not harmed. But turn yourself in, please. And I think, again, Christine, a lot of times when they commit murder, why run? You understand? So I, believe it or not, let's call them cowards. If you commit a murder or commit a crime, you should turn yourself in. And that's my view on that. People might don't like the way I say it, but that's the truth. But I'm asking them, wherever you are today, whoever is harboring him, it is a crime. So please give me a call, and I'll bring you into the police.
This father, grandfather, and community-minded individual, Dudley Said, is calling on church leaders to come out of the four walls and meet the young men on the streets in their home and restore the Bahamas to its once tranquil state. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson Everest.
Thanks, Jolanda. Well, over on the island of Bimini, a special meeting is underway for a project update focusing on the airport development and business opportunities expected to come on stream soon. Our Rumiko Knowles is there and joins us live now with the latest. Rumiko?
Thanks, Raven. Well, the Bimini government complex is abuzz with excitement at this very hour as local stakeholders and interested parties gather for the Bimini Business Mixer and Project Update, focusing on the development of the South Bimini Airport. Now, the aim of this event is to provide insight into contractual and employment opportunities for residents here on the island.
This particular meeting is to engage around the interest for jobs, for skilled laborers, and ensuring that there are opportunities for local entrepreneurs and stakeholders. I think these were non-negotiables when it came to this particular management agreement. I think the government made it very clear that the critical thing that this development must speak to is creating opportunities. And
creating entrepreneurial opportunities is said to be the major highlight of this business mixer, according to Dr. Kenneth Rumor, Ministry of Tourism Tourism Investments and Aviation's Deputy Director General and Acting Director of Aviation. It is an $83 million project. Chairman of the Airport Authority, Paul Bevins, says he believes the community will be pleased.
Excited about it. We're here today because it's the launch of the job fair. Pretty much we want persons in Bimini to have the first pick at the job opportunities for employment and also for contracts that will become available. This project is really for Bimini.
Also on hand for the mixer, the Member of Parliament for the area, Kingsley Smith.
Sometime last year, the Deputy Prime Minister would have signed with this company to develop this airport, and today again is a testament that they are proceeding along with this venture. I'm excited the opportunities that is going to present for the Biminites, contracts, jobs, etc. And so I'm here to encourage those individuals.
Now, overall, the Bimini Business Mixer and Project Development Update provided a platform for stakeholders to learn and actively participate in the development of the South Bimini Airport. Live from Bimini for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Back to you in studio.
Thanks for that, Rumiko. And of course, we'll bring you more in a later newscast. Well, in a bid to promote sustainability and boost the local economy, an environmentalist is calling on the developers of the anticipated Six Senses Resort in Grand Bahama to collaborate with and financially support local farmers. The move aims to foster local food production and reduce dependency on imports. Here's that report.
We are fortunate that their eyes are now focused on the Bahamas for coming and developing, but we need to bring from them much more that would benefit our people.
Amid ongoing public consultation for the proposed 64-villa luxury sustainable resort Six Senses, environmentalist Joe Darville advocates for a collaboration, suggesting that the developers join forces with the government and local farmers, offering financial support to the farmers to bolster local food production.
One of the reasons why we are not having sufficient and progressive development in farming and producing food, vegetables, and so on for sale to the supermarkets, the hotels, etc., is because the governments are not just PLP, but all the governments have been very comfortable in the taxation and the VAT that they get from all of the importation of everything that goes into the supermarkets.
And during a recent town meeting, Six Senses representatives underscored a keen interest in local collaboration through their Eat and Grow program, underscoring a commitment to a farm-to-table experience. And as the project gains traction, Darville highlights the increasing demand for produce.
So we have to be very progressive in this regard and have an ongoing discussion with the Six Senses, with the developers, to make sure, because even when I posed a question to them, they could not be specific about anything. Even when I said to them that it's difficult now for farmers to even produce because they do not have the wherewithal, the financial resources, and the manpower to produce enough on a large scale to even supply.
Taking it a step further, he advocates for the establishment of a Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute on every major Bahamian island to provide local farmers with additional resources to enhance production, as he knows that farmers on island face formidable hurdles.
It is very difficult for them to find sufficient ground sufficiently above sea level. The other one is to be able to convince the Crown Land Office in Nassau to make provision for land for Bahamians. Every Bahamian, whether man or woman, at the age of 18, should be afforded Crown land in this country.
Now, the $250 million Six Senses project remains on course for its anticipated 2026 opening, and the Beller developers assure they are committed to integrating themselves within the community and providing opportunities for local participation and benefit.
So yes, I think working collaboratively with the government to do this would be really helpful. In some cases, if we had more land to utilize or that was farmland, we might try and aid farmers or someone other aid them with what we actually have to provide. But I think what we have to provide is a commitment to purchase from them, therefore give them forward-looking numbers about what they need to produce.
And when we come back, we highlight students across the Bahamas for the 27th National Spelling Bee Competition. This story, sports, and more when we return.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
You have enough things to worry about. Living in a world that can seem opposite of the things you are trying to accomplish.
I can need a little help with this month, sis.
We're here to let you know that you don't have to go at it alone. Choose peace of mind. Choose comfort. Choose CB. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
It's Tech Edge Virtual Job Fair for tech professionals February 8th and 9th, 2024. Scan code to register or visit www.techedgebahamas.com. It's a celebration of praise for the dedication service of the Hartley E. Thompson Christian Center Sunday morning, February 11th at 11 o'clock at Freeport Gospel Chapel. Everyone is invited to attend.
Express your love to that someone special this Valentine's Day with chocolates, teddy bears, or a card that says it all. Create a gift basket that makes a lasting impression with everything you need and more. Shop Bellevue Gifts and Supplies.
Wine and dine your love at Ocean's Blue this Valentine's. Enjoy stuffed lobster tail or rack of lamb with amazing sides and desserts. Ocean's Blue is located at Ocean Reef and Yacht Club.
Esquire Men's Freeport invites you to our shopping event, Chocolates and Champagne. You come and shop, wine, and dine with your favorite folks at Esquire Men's Freeport. Chocolates and Champagne. Happy Valentine's Day.
Hi, I am Corporal 3230 Perez Demerit of the Traffic Division, Grand Bahama. You can prevent a serious traffic accident by practicing safe driving. Here are a few traffic safety tips. Obey all traffic signals and traffic signs. Wear your seatbelt at all times. Reduce your speed and drive with due care and attention. Pull over to answer your cell phone, send a text message, or attend to any distractions, such as kids, pets, reading the newspaper, or eating. Finally, do not drink and drive. If you plan on drinking, use a designated driver. After all, it's all about creating safer communities.
The ZNS Network and the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture presents the Anthony Huck Williams 2024 Junior Junkanoo Parade. Live from Pioneers Way on January 27th, beginning at 4:30 p.m. on the ZNS Network.
Oh, see a shark right there.
Boys all came out of swim.
Yes, I got that. I checked that off. The weather's perfect. The food's great. People are very friendly.
A week of live shows and the latest news, as well as reveal the untold narratives through the eyes of Bimini, as well as share with you why people from all over the world come to this beautiful island. Join us on February 12th through the 16th from 3 to 4 p.m. only on the ZNS Network.
There ain't no place with better diving than Bimini. We have undersea adventures right here in Bimini.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The 27th Grand Bahama Bimini and the Keys Spelling Bee, hosted by the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, was one that did not disappoint. Various schools competed hard for the top prize, but there could only be one winner. Shane Stubbs has that report.
S-S-E-N
TIAL, essential.
Correct. 46 students across the Northern Bahamas had their spelling medal tested during the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology's 27th Spelling Bee. Deputy Director for Grand Bahama, Bimini and the Keys, Michelle Bowleg, touted each student as winners and commended the spellers for their bravery to step on stage and compete to the best of their abilities.
It is not easy for persons to stand up in the front of a crowd and actually spell words. It's certainly their vocabulary is enhanced, and they learn a lot because they're going to have to know the origin of the word, how to spell the word, and while it may seem easy, it's only easy because you're sitting there. But if you were up there, then it would not have been so easy. And so I commend all of our spellers.
Bowleg also gave special recognition to the teachers, coaches, and principals for ensuring the students were ready for the task at hand.
I thank everyone who would have assisted. It's just not one person. All of us would have assisted in making sure the students are here and that they are going to do very well. I'd also really like to pay attention and to thank those persons who would have left their work, who's not affiliated with education, to be here today, whether it were to assist us with our decorations, certainly our judges, our pronouncer. We could not do this without you, and so I'm eternally grateful.
Camden Green of Walter Parker Primary was this year's winner, taking first place after correctly spelling the word landlocked. Rebecca Barnett of Morrismore Primary finished in second place, and Winea Hanna of Sister Mary Patricia Jr. rounded out the top three. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Well, congratulations to all of the participants. And now in its 13th year, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture's Youth Leader Certification Program continues to equip the future leaders of our youth. With 65 registered applicants, the cohort was welcomed with open arms at the spring orientation held at Sister Mary Patricia Junior High School. Youth Officer Kenneth Miller says this cohort is a historic one as they dive into the many key areas of positive youth development. The key word this year is strategy.
We're going to talk about how to design programs that are research-based. Not just I have a calling, but behind my calling, the Greek term strategium, I put it behind with strategies fully laid out that when I go to government and I request for $10,000 for my girls' organization, I have data to back up what I'm saying. I just don't have a feeling, I have a strategy.
The 16-week program will convene once a week every Tuesday. One new area introduced will deal with helping young people maintain their mental health. Executive Director at the Grand Bahama Resilience Center, Felicia McBride, will be one of the lead voices in that regard and wants youth leaders to understand what may have worked for some back in the day may not necessarily work for young people in this day and age.
A lot of people, when it comes to youth and mental health, we brush it off, especially in days gone by. We would tell them, go make some tea, go read a book. You don't have no stress. The only thing that you have to do is go to school and learn, and that's your job and that's your duty. But young people today are facing really serious problems and really serious challenges, and the youth leaders of today need to be equipped to help them to navigate those challenges.
And let's take a look at the latest in sports with Shane Stubbs.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. There are big wins as champions of the Jimmy Comer Keith Mullings Primary School Basketball League. And the patrons of this tournament were happy to keep this 13-year tradition alive.
It was really a pleasure to see the grassroots teams finally win something. You know, I was at the game. It was exciting. Being from West End, being from a small community, winning a championship for the first time, you know, this is what it's all about.
We've been doing this from 2011, and the kids look forward to it every year, and it's certainly our pleasure.
Coaches Desmond Dames and Tempest Bullard say the kids worked hard all season for this treat and their excitement told the story.
They was talking with it for a very long time, and they're enjoying themselves today. So I'm really proud of them.
We knew last year we wanted to win. We didn't, unfortunately, and this year the plan was to come out victorious and put in the work, and we did that.
Last week, the Invaders defeated the Walter Parker Pacers 36-20 in the boys' championship, while the Eagles took down the Freeport Primary Conquerors 11-9. Next in sports, pro baseball players Warren Saunders and Philando Williams returned to their old stomping grounds as Legacy Baseball officially opened their 2024 season.
You have to have God in your life, and you have to thank God for everything that He do for you. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm unwilling to do the things that people don't do for the next 10 to 20 years to be the best.
I used to start out here on these CM fields too. I played in nationals just like each and every one of y'all, and I took it serious. You have to take it serious if you're really trying to pursue this.
And lastly in sports, scores from high school hoops. In senior boys actions, the Sunland Stingers continued to roll, defeating the BMES Warriors 62-14. Denaj Kelly poured in 16 points for the Stingers. In other senior boys scores, the Tabernacle Falcons outlasted the St. George's Jaguars 47-38. Noah Bain and Aiden Miller led the Falcons, scoring 13 points apiece. In junior boys action, the Sister Mary Panthers ousted the Jack Hayward Stars 20-9. Liam Russell was your top scorer with 6 points for the Panthers. The St. Paul Saints quieted the Study Hall Knights, the final score 30-8. And the Falcons grounded the Amor Rock Blue Jays 34-12. And that'll do it for your sports check, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Shane Stubbs. As always, be safe and be great.
Thanks, Shane. Here's a check on today's weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, is back in just a moment.
Esquire Men's Freeport invites you to our shopping event, Chocolates and Champagne. You come and shop, wine, and dine with your favorite folks at Esquire Men's Freeport. Chocolates and Champagne. Happy Valentine's Day.
Strike a spark today, ignite a blaze tomorrow. Love yourself this February. Be prepared for the upcoming jobs that are coming to Grand Bahama. Enroll today at Pine Yard Technical Center, number 12 Oak Street in the Civic Industrial Area. Classes resume February 5th, 2024. Registration includes welding jacket, shield, and textbooks. Courses offered: Introduction to Welding, Monday and Wednesdays for 3 months. Advanced welding classes, Tuesdays and Thursdays for 9 months. And applied welding classes, Fridays and Saturdays for 12 months. Contact their office today at number 12 Oak Street, Freeport, or call 352-7712 or 533-0821. Or you can email pineyardsteel@hotmail.com.
Attention Freeport, Grand Bahama. Grab your bicycles, grab your tennis, for this is an event you can't afford to miss. The University of the Bahamas North is hosting their annual Fun Run, Walk, and Bike in celebration of the university's 50th anniversary. Starting at 6 a.m. on Saturday, March 16th, we will meet at the University of the Bahamas downtown's campus, formerly the Kipling Building. We are inviting you to come out and support in aid of the UB Northrop Bill campaign and the Student Support Award. For the month of January, there is an early Mingos special. If by chance you missed the special, you can register online or pay in person by March 6th.
Your number one news team covering the North, Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Our Facebook friend of the night is none other than our local songbird, Sherrod Taylor. We say happy birthday to you and we thank you for your support. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Raven Davis, but be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, combing for clues in Murder 25. Managing emotional trauma, protest hits OPM, and in sports, high school hoop action. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
When the streets fail to forgive. Good evening, everyone. I'm Makush Lopinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. The details do not change, but the particulars of today's brazen daylight homicide strayed a bit from the storyline with which we've all become all too accustomed. The victim in this case, a so-called reformed criminal whose past followed him. Our Devontae Hanna has the details.
A man who was actively changing his life to focus more on God, brutally shot to death Tuesday afternoon on a hospital lane, becoming the country's latest homicide and leaving police on a manhunt to nab a suspect.
The young man was walking south on Hospital Lane, and as he walked south on Hospital Lane, another young man emerged off of the Sarah Ingram Park, opened fire on the young man, shooting him fatally.
Now, officers would have just met this young man a few weeks ago, sitting in the area not too far from where he was ironically killed this afternoon. His demise just here as the sand covers the bloodstains. But the young man had reportedly attended the church here, the New Unity Fellowship International Ministry, on Sunday, as they say he was attempting to make a change in his life.
Everyone in life has a past, but for him, he was moving forward. That was just him, moving forward and becoming better, a better man. That's what he was, a church-going man. Literally changed in every aspect of the way.
He has been unofficially identified as Atlantis Severe by his fellow church members, a man on bail for a 2020 homicide.
The young man recognized that some things he didn't do right early on in his life. He made a change, but the streets never forgave him.
As investigators combed the scene, some residents again calling for stiffer penalties, noting that the sting of death following a murder never really leaves a victim's loved one.
I done lost a son 11 years ago and feel like I haven't even buried my son as yet. Unless the system deal with speedy justice, it only could get worse.
On the scene, officers also sending a strong warning to parents.
Steer them away from a life of crime. When they get older, and they recognize the consequences of them being involved in criminal activity, it's too late.
The incident now pushes the country's homicide count for the year to 25. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
Well, with 25 homicides, 37 days into the new year, some wonder if it's all taking a toll on officers. That question posed directly to the man with oversight of homicides, Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson, during Monday's early slaying on Providence Avenue.
No, it's not. We're relentless. We have a duty to perform, and all of us live here. All right, all of us live here. We have a duty to protect the Bahamian people, and so we will continue to do what we have to do. The commissioner is continuing to make different initiatives to ensure that all Bahamian persons are protected in this country.
Well, the Prime Minister having a meeting of the minds recently with the National Neighborhood Watch Council and senior police officers to assess the effectiveness of current crime prevention strategies. Joining us in studio this evening, Kino Wong, head of that very council. Mr. Wong, welcome to the Bahamas Tonight.
Good evening. It's good to be here.
Well, I understand now that meeting was really to glean the council's perspective on what the government has proposed moving forward in hopes of curbing crime, so to speak. We've heard the Prime Minister tout repeatedly in recent days the 5-pillar plan of prevention, policing, prosecution, punishment, and rehabilitation. I'm sure that was a key talking point at that meeting. What do you make of what's on the table?
I dare to say that it was a privilege for us to meet with the Prime Minister of our country and senior police officers at the Office of the Prime Minister. It was timing, it was fruitful, it was effectiveness, the collaboration, the communication was there with every stakeholder that was present. At the meeting, we had approximately close to about 20 neighborhood watch leaders in the council. And so as we look at the 5-point pillars plans that the government has issued out, we are quite satisfied as an organization that this is the right way to go, especially with rehabilitation and to assist with the prevention, the policing policies, crime prevention for the entire Bahamas.
You speak of rehabilitation, specifically, you zoom in on that, for lack of a better phrase. What do you foresee as the role the council will play into bringing that to fruition or pushing that forward?
Programs. When an individual has been released from the prison, the Bahamas Correctional Institute, we look at having us as a neighborhood, because these individuals have to return to our neighborhoods, your neighborhood. And so we see ourselves in a role of assisting the government in helping to rehabilitate the mindset of our young men and our young women to choose a better life, to work, and to be a productive citizen in our country.
Well, once again, we're joined in studio tonight by head of the National Neighborhood Watch Council, Kino Wong. Mr. Wong, it was certainly a pleasure having you join us here on the Bahamas tonight.
Thank you.
And as always, anytime you're welcome to return.
Thank you.
Well, meantime, the rise in crime prompting calls from the opposition Free National Movement for the National Security Minister to resign. The party's deputy leader, Shannon Cartwright, reasoning in a statement today that the crime crisis requires new ministerial leadership, as he says Bahamians are angered and dismayed that the Ministry of National Security is not bringing the results to crime as promised by the Davis administration. He maintains the government has a prioritized duty and responsibility to the Bahamian people to keep communities, people, and the country safe. The Prime Minister recently unveiled, as you just heard, its 5-point strategy to curb the rise in crime, as well as invite the opposition to the table to help the government solve the issue.
When a person gets to a corner where they feel in their own mind that there is no hope, there's no sense of living, that definitely puts them in a position where they're more likely to say, you know what, I'm just going to end my life.
It's a tragic reality that many Bahamians have unfortunately faced, while an intense investigation continues into why a woman in her early 30s took her own life this past weekend and recorded as the first suicide for the year. Psychiatric medical officer Dr. Sean Knowles knows these situations all too well. He highly recommends any individual who may be battling with mental illness to seek professional help or confide in a trusted friend. He strongly believes, though, unemployment, emotional stress, crime, and poverty are also contributing factors.
If I were to give that person the best medication to help them, if they're dealing, say, with major depressive disorder, they get the best talk therapy. But if their social issues are not being addressed, not having food to eat, not having a place to stay, particularly if they have young kids they need to take care of, that person is going to relapse.
Knowles maintains just because someone is happy on the outside, that doesn't mean they're not suffering internally. He says recognizing the telltale signs of suicide, not casting judgment, but doing your part to help could make all the difference.
At least 80% of persons, based on some of the global stats, who would have committed suicide would have given warning signals prior to that. And so you want to, first of all, take the talk of that person very seriously. If someone is saying something to the effect, my life, life would be better if I wasn't here, or I'm just tired, I'm tired of living. You want to take that seriously. That is really a clear sign that that person is going through something. So how they talk, definitely if you're recognizing that aggression, irritability, particularly in our men, the male population. Self-cutting, particularly in I'm seeing a lot of that in adolescent girls, women under the age of 24, as young as 9, cutting themselves on the wrist, cutting themselves on the thigh. definitely a sign for a cry for help.
But with a lack of treatment and outpatient resource facilities in country, Knowles says that emergency cry for help can only go so far.
The Community Counseling Assessment Center, which is located on Collins Avenue, is the only outpatient mental resource center that we have for the nation. And so what's happening to people in Grand Bahama, and Eleuthera, and Long Island, and Andros, and so it will be of tremendous benefit if we can increase our mental health outpatient resource centers on each of the main islands, if nothing else, so that these persons can get the help that they need.
With women leading the way in attempted suicides and men in carrying out the act, Dr. Knowles is hoping that a mental health clinic for men, women, and children is established to lower the country's suicide numbers. Live in the Newsplex for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm LaDawn Davis. Back to you in studio, Makushla.
Well, thanks, LaDawn. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
There are some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good count salad, Junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Since they're on sale, Max bought things neither he nor his friend really needed. Hungry for deals? Come to KFC to satisfy your hunger before doing something crazy. Our new 6-piece value deal is packed with 6 pieces of your favorite fried chicken, 3 orders of crispy fries, and 3 buttery biscuits, all for just $20. You work hard for your money. Get the biggest bang for your taste buds. Satisfy your taste buds with KFC. It's finger-licking good.
ESE Distributors, the #1 wholesale beauty supplier in the Bahamas, specializing in hair products, accessories, and makeup. A variety of skin lightening products, Keratin, Natural Bright, Pawpaw, and personal toiletries, like soaps, creams, lotion, and oils. Hair products like Got2b, Red One, and everything in the Morphos line. And lots of hair. Afro Kinky, 3X Ghana, crochet hair. We deliver and ship to the Family Islands. ESE Distributors, located on Soldier Road opposite NCA.
My business couldn't survive without my credit card machine from Fidelity.
It's fast, convenient, and my clients love it.
My sales increase, and I can track my earnings.
Get your credit card machine from Fidelity today.
Call 356-7764.
Get the glow, keeping you in the know. You in the know, God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
Surrounded by pristine beaches and marine life, our marine resources hold immense, untapped potential for Bahamians to build wealth, as highlighted by Prescott Smith of the Bahamas Fly Fishing Industry Association. He underscores the vast opportunities within the flat fishing industry in the Bahamas.
The Bahamas has the largest flats area of its kind in the world. It has the largest bonefish population. And of course, the sector needs key policies to be implemented so that you can fully develop the potential of this particular sector.
With a 3-decade tenure in the field, Smith, who owns the Stafford Creek Lodge in Central Andros, emphasizes that flat fishing represents a multi-billion-dollar sector. Smith notes that there are around 400 Bahamian guides nationwide, but according to fishing guide Solomon Murphy, this falls significantly short of the industry demand in the Bahamas.
The industry has mostly guys from, I would say, their 40s and above. So that is one of the issues that I would like to see addressed at some point, that where we get in a lot more younger people.
So how lucrative is this field? Both men explain.
The amount of revenue that an angler spends in fly fishing, if you compare that to somebody coming in on a cruise ship, you would probably need 100 cruise ship passengers to spend just what one angler is spending on a trip at a lodge.
We are pretty much at the top of the pay scale when it comes to what you make per day out here on the water. You average about $500 to $600 a day.
That said, here's how you can take advantage of training opportunities in this sector.
We're pushed now to get a program implemented in BAMC. And so I think they have their first graduation coming up at the end of the month. But while that is the place where it should be, the program still needs a lot of support. And then, of course, there's the apprenticeship side of it, where once you pass through that program, you then now can apprentice at various lodges to be able to get the field experience that is required, because you're running boats in very shallow water. And so that requires a lot of training and skill, even from a safety standpoint.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
Enough is enough. It's that very mindset that led to Ministry of Education security officers taking action today, up in arms over a number of issues they insist must be addressed. Cleopatra Murphy has all the details.
If it have to come down to this every day, we'll do this every day until we get some kind of thing. We out here in the rain. And we're willing to do this.
Hands clasped in solidarity as they sang Bind Us Together, frustrated public school security officers staged a protest outside the office of the Prime Minister Tuesday morning. Fed up by what they claim is lackluster representation from Bahamas Public Services Union President Kimsley Ferguson, the group demanded government give them compensation for overtime they say has accumulated for more than a year, calling for promotions that have reportedly not happened in 4 decades, hazardous pay, and health insurance. The group braved the rain after they say their promised overtime would be paid at the end of January. 26-year veteran Thelma Miller Griffin says after sit-outs and sick-outs, they have reached a boiling point, lamenting that salaries for security officers start at $900 a month, barely enough to get by.
$900 a month is like your rent. Rent now is like $1,200. I wouldn't even talk about the light bill. So definitely, and sitting out there, if anybody come in my space, I work high school, I've worked junior high school, I've worked primary school. We are being disrespectful to some parents. And when we try to stand, the principals sometimes they don't stand with us. And the part of you looking at these children coming to school with knives, they come to school with guns. What is there to protect us?
Joining the chorus, an impassioned Shion Lopez, who says she works overtime every night, and with her son preparing to attend college, she needs her money to assist with his education. She's also demanding they get the respect they deserve.
We are protectors to the schools. We are protectors to the principal. Before, if something was to happen to us, they can meet the security first before they get inside the office to who's sitting in them seats. Here also, we need our money. We need it now. We all need our money now.
The security officers say some received small payments on Monday, a max of $300, a drop in the bucket compared to what they are owed. The officers' plight gained the support of Free National Movement Vice Chairman and activist Richard Johnson and outspoken attorney Maria Daxon.
The Minister of Education, the Permanent Secretary, has failed these persons. Enough is enough. And it's about getting answers for these persons.
Slavery days are over with. If these security officers work,
they are entitled to get what they work for. Pay these security officers.
For Tashana Thompson and all the officers, the goal is simple.
We hope to get some answers, to get monies, and for them to respect security officers.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Well, Education Minister, the Honourable Glenys Hannah Martin, sought to provide answers, explaining that her ministry, along with the Ministry of Finance, are actively finalizing payment for the officers. Here's what she reasons is behind the delayed payments.
There was an accumulation of overtime which exceeded the budget of the Ministry of Education. And we've been working with the Ministry of Education to supplement the funding. And it was a process of auditing, etc., because there were one or two concerns of Ministry of Finance as to certain levels and certain individual instances. And we are now at the point where the Ministry of Finance authorized an initial minimum payment, and they have now authorized the full payment, which is being processed as we speak. And the Permanent Secretary has given, she's advised that during the course of this week, the payments will be made. We'll see we ran into a difficulty by giving January as a date, and we're not able to meet that.
The minister also thanked BPSU President Kingsley Ferguson for advocating for his members.
Include promotions which are now underway. Many are at the Public Service Commission, promotions which have not happened in decades for security officers. And additionally, we've agreed to a modification of uniforms to the shirts. I think they call them dry something, which allow more comfort to security officers, and that is being completed as we speak. And we're also providing additional uniforms, and more equipment is being addressed. And so what we're seeking to do is an overarching policy initiative on how security officers move through their professional duties, and that is what's underway.
Well, meantime, there's been no progress made yet in those ongoing talks between union negotiators and Atlantis execs, but labor officials are still holding out hope for an agreement real soon. Corval Pyfrom joins us now with the very latest and reaction from the labor minister.
Augustla, negotiators from the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union and execs from the Atlantis Hotel met Friday but reached no deal. A weekend break, and then it was hoped a new week could mean a new deal. Labor Minister Glover Rule, seemingly exhausted by the impasse, appeared hopeful an agreement was on the horizon when she spoke to ZNS News outside a Labor Department conclave early Monday morning.
We hope to get a proposal from Atlantis that we will present to the Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, and we hope that the impasse will be broken. If not, we continue to communicate, we continue to talk, because most importantly is the employees. Either way, we want to make sure that the employees are not in any way disenfranchised, so we have to keep the communication going.
The union is accusing Atlantis of refusing to pay raises owed to its members. The hotel's position is that the increase in wages was agreed to before the government lifted the minimum wage to an amount greater than the agreed 8% increase. This has proven to be the sticking point, with neither side appearing to be willing to abandon its position. Glover Rule is hoping her intervention in the process might bring about a resolution.
Because in some instances, it's a matter of the way that it is determined. A matter is determined by one side as opposed to the other in terms of understanding how this amelioration needs to happen. You know, the hotel union is looking for a percentage to be added to, in particular, the tipped categories. The employer is feeling that they've already done a portion of that. That's not what the hotel union is accepting. So it's just a matter of understanding that the formula that is used and applied is consistent with industry standards.
And for now, neither party is speaking publicly about these negotiations while the minister as well as the director of labor are still hopeful that a resolution could be made. But for as it stands right now, Makushla, there is no deal, at least not yet. Back to you, Makushla.
Well, thanks, Corval. From the courts this evening, Chief Financial Officer at the Water and Sewage Corporation, Patrice Monroe continuing her testimony Tuesday in the fraud and bribery trial before the Supreme Court. Defendants in the case, former Water and Sewage Executive Chairman Adrian Gibson, its former General Manager Elwood Donaldson, Gibson's cousin Rashay Gibson, Joan Knowles, Peaches Farquharson, and Jerome Missick. Monroe recalling that on April 27th of 2022, police came to Water and Sewage requesting documents relating to wire and check payments. The CFO testifying under cross-examination that various sums of money were paid via check and wire transfers to Adams Landscaping, Bahar Maintenance, and Elite Maintenance for landscaping services and the painting of water tanks. The grand total paid ranging from over $162,000 to over $818,000. According to Monroe, the court, she paid Adrian. According to Monroe, she told the court Adrian Gibson's salary of $7,800 was paid into his Royal Bank account, which she said included his allowances. The court also heard that the procurement portal system enhanced the checks and balances at the corporation. The chief financial officer also told that Adrian Gibson wasn't the owner of any of the 3 maintenance and landscaping companies in question. In other news this evening, while the U.S. Embassy chargé d'affaires Yusha Pitts yesterday revealed she's not concerned the Bahamas is unsafe for American visitors, tourism officials are still in damage control mode, ensuring the word gets out that the Bahamas is a secure destination. Altavis Munnings joins us in studio with the latest update from the tourism minister on the impact of the U.S. travel advisory. Good evening, Altavis.
Good evening, Makushla, and good evening, Bahamas. The Bahamas remains open for business. That's the message from the Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper tonight. It all stems from the recent United States crime alert on the Bahamas that continues to dominate international headlines. And while it did generate some concern, DPM Cooper admitted on Monday that the concern has now dissipated, describing arrivals to the Bahamas as steady. To support his point, the DPM boasted of the amount of American airline visitors that landed in North Eleuthera this past Saturday. One of them was American Airlines' inaugural flight from Miami, Florida to Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera.
In that day alone in North Eleuthera, 4 jets arrived full to capacity. And then, of course, Bahamas Air also full to capacity. So this is a great time for Eleuthera. This is a great time for tourism generally. And we like to tell the world that we have 700 islands, but we are promoting 16 island destinations.
While tourism officials recognize an uptick in all destinations, they're not taking the U.S. crime alert lightly. And that means government admonishes Bahamians to play their part as well.
We're going to be launching a campaign shortly to sensitize the Bahamian public that tourism is everybody's business. And we want everyone in the community to understand that everything they do impact our goose that lay the golden eggs. So we must not only take better care of ourselves as Bahamians and residents, but we must also look out for our guests as well. That campaign is going to launch shortly.
Well, local tourism representatives like taxi drivers added their uneasiness on the impact of the travel advisory to the tourism ministry. A stakeholder group has been formed to monitor the matter on the national and international level.
I assure you, the public, that the Ministry of Tourism is being proactive in this process. We're not sitting on our hands. We have deployed already strategies to ensure that the world knows that it's still better in the Bahamas.
Tourism officials, the DPM contends, are actively working around the clock to preserve tourism and assure the world the Bahamas is still among the top tourist destinations in the region. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altavis Munnings. Back to you, Makushla.
Well, thanks, Altavis. It's a fiber break. BTC officials weren't anticipating restoration to its landline, mobile and internet services on the Eastern and Johnson Road corridors underway after another utility provider cut BTC's fiber during trenching this past Sunday. Technical Operations Director Drexel Woods lamenting that due to inclement weather and technician safety concerns, repairs couldn't be completed yesterday. BTC apologizes to its customers for the inconvenience and urges the utilities regulator to investigate investigate this matter to fully understand what happened to reduce similar occurrences. Well, time now for the poll question of the week, and this week we're asking, should mental health education be included in school curriculums to raise awareness and reduce stigma? You can chime in on our social media handles. And we still have more news to come, but Marcellus Hall has a look at what's coming up in sports. Marcellus?
Coming up in sports for tonight, private school basketball championships underway. We'll tell you who took those all-important Game 1 leads coming up in sports.
In the Yellow Elder Garden, Ali and her cousins listened to Grammy share tales. The 70s so sweet, with themed costumes and dancing feet. Then came the brass, reaching new heights. A symphony of Bahamian nights. The 2000s, the Yellow Elder, a symbol of pride. Grammy's legacy in view as Ali dances in her Yellow Elder costume. We are alive.
You've set big goals for your future, and we can help you to achieve them. Getting that degree you've always wanted, buying your first car, making it official on a truly special day, or building a home that's your own. Big or small, share your ambitions with us, and we can help make them real.
It's time to start a cooperative business today. All you need is a business plan, a set of cooperative bylaws, $25 and an application form, and 10 persons who believe in the same vision. For more information on starting a cooperative, call 397-7400, extension 7443, 6551, 6553, and 6577. The Department of Cooperative Development. Develop, facilitate, regulate.
Attention, all Bahamians. Our country needs your input to help shape our future, economy, and reputation. We encourage you to take part in the Made in the Bahamas survey today. This certification is a mark of quality, a symbol of our national pride, resilience, and commitment to producing superior products and services. Go online to madeinthebahamas.info. Your voice, our future. Let's make our products a symbol of our nation's greatness.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
An eyesore, no more. After many years of sitting as an abandoned structure on West Bay Street, the building that formerly housed the gaming board has been demolished. Witnessing the bulldozer's wrath, our Altavis Munnings.
It's been a dilapidated structure for years and not a good look for the hundreds of residents and visitors who frequent this part of West Bay Street. That's why government decided to tear down the building that formerly housed the gaming board's offices. Owned by the Hotel Corporation of the Bahamas, Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable Chester Cooper, led the delegation witnessing this demolition. He initially walked through the abandoned building, viewing what was, and then gave the green light to start the bulldozer. Once the demolition is complete, Goodman's Bay will now get a whole new image.
Women who walk in the mornings in particular through these areas will be pleased to see that this has become a green space rather than a derelict structure. So we are committed.
To help. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Stay with us.
The most important thing in life is family, and whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
An eyesore no more. After many years of sitting as an abandoned structure on West Bay Street, the building that formerly housed the gaming board office has been demolished. Witnessing the bulldozer's wrath, our Altavis Munnings.
It's been a dilapidated structure for years and not a good look for the hundreds of residents and visitors who frequent this part of West Bay Street. That's why government decided to tear down the building that formerly housed the gaming board's offices. Owned by the Hotel Corporation of the Bahamas, Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable Chester Cooper led the delegation witnessing this demolition. He initially walked through the abandoned building, viewing what was, and then gave the green light to start the bulldozer. Once the demolition is complete, Goodman's Bay will now get a whole new image.
Women who walk in the mornings in particular through these areas will be pleased to see that this has become a green space rather than a derelict structure. So we are committed to continuing this process, as I mentioned, all the way from here onward through downtown Nassau and straight on to the bridge at Paradise Island.
Monday's wrecking also complements the government's downtown revitalization project here in the capital.
We're looking at a food market for downtown where persons may go relax, have lunch, or tourists might go and really have a taste of Bahamian flavors, food and drinks, etc. We're going to create more buzz in the downtown area. We're still asking for more investors, Bahamians, to participate by starting restaurants, entertainment. We are getting rave reviews from residents and guests and business people.
The Deputy Prime Minister assures that Monday's demolition got the green light upon consultation from the Antiquities, Monuments and Museums Corporation, as well as other stakeholders charged with preserving our history. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altavis Munnings.
Well, urban renewal continuing to put smiles on the faces of inner-city residents. 80-year-old retired teacher Cora Ambrister recently had her kitchen and roof restored. The Mall at Marathon partnered in this initiative as a major sponsor.
Everyone knows the mall as an entity, but for me it was very important for us to stress and show the public that this is who we are as a people, you know, to actually reach out and this particular instance, you know, do what we've done. I think it's something to be spoken of.
With the kitchen already refinished, the roof repaired, and the cabinets installation nearly complete, Ambrister says she couldn't be happier.
Prime Minister in my home, like you never would dream something like that, you see. But everything is working out for me. I'm more excited. I'm happy with what's going on. Can't wait because it looked like I'm living in my kitchen is a new place.
Well, famed Jamaican music legend The late Bob Marley, today recognized in his hometown and around the world in celebration of what would have been his birthday. Marley passed away in May of 1981 after a battle with cancer. However, had he survived, today the reggae icon would have turned 79. And although Marley never called the Bahamas home, there are many who see him as an inspiration, sharing with our news team why his music continues to resonate with so many.
But he was a good man, and I just really enjoy his singing and his family act. He's just like, he is the family of the world.
My mom that loved Bob Marley, right? I had 2 albums in my house. I had Kenny Rogers and I had Bob Marley.
Everybody love his music because it inspires everybody in the Bahamas.
He's more like an inspiration. He'll tell people, I mean, with his songs, you can learn a lot from it because with his song, it's like his past.
And like most, these faithful followers have their all-time favorite songs from Bob, affectionately called Tough Gong.
One love. One love.
One love the same. That's my favorite song, One Love.
Redemption songs. I want to get high.
One love, say one heart, say let's get together and let's feel all right.
Well, still to come, our feature, Sanibel's primary backyard farming. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
In case you missed the news or want to stay ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook.
Have you ever purchased a defective item and was denied an exchange or cash refund? Contact the Consumer Protection Commission at 393-7795-8 or our 24-hour complaints hotline at 357-7898 and let us help your voice be heard.
Hey, get up, stand up. Stand up for your right.
The extension of the Family Island Junkanoo program said to be going exceptionally well. The program coming back in a big way to positively impact the tourism product and engage children more culturally. Carla Palmer reports.
The parade in Cat Island was a phenomenal one. We expected the group to show up and show out. They did.
On the heels of what's being touted, a very successful senior Junkanoo parade on Cat Island on the weekend, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture officials responsible for overseeing the Junkanoo cultural program are already busy in meetings preparing for the next to come. Junkanoo coordinator Ellery DeVoe says in addition to the Rockers, 2 other groups were supposed to participate in the parade in New Bight on Saturday, but did not.
It was supposed to be 3, but however, the 2 groups, they just couldn't make it. So in preparation for next year, we would have them start early, have an earlier jump start, make it a bigger parade. And what we left down there, you know, we were very much so pleased. It was an awesome show. What they did.
Central to Junkanoo, beyond the traditional set times of Boxing Day and New Year's here in New Providence, Family Island Junkanoo is part of the ministry's push to have our country's #1 cultural activity showcased throughout the year, taking into account not only the ecotourism aspect, but the drive to educate our children to what's now our trademarked, authentic, and unique Bahamian experience.
Junkanoo never stops. It never stops because after the last group, we have to go back into planning for the following year. They only have, I think, August is our slow time, but we go right back into it. The next parade is Andres, that's February 17th. Then also we have Eleuthera, that's March 2nd. Yes.
Those will be
senior parades. And then also Bimini, we have March 9th, will be Bimini's Junior Junkanoo Parade.
Thousands of dollars have already been distributed in seed funding, with senior groups receiving the most. Of $9,000, junior schools $4,000, primary schools $2,000, and the preschools $1,500.
If they don't show well, they have repercussions for that. Bring the seed funding back.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
Well, the sound of hail falling on the island of Eleuthera over the past 2 days, a direct result of that severe weather system affecting the Bahamas that's generating strong gale force winds, rough seas and hazardous boating conditions. Central Eleuthera residents were amazed by the pellets of ice dropping in droves, the extreme weather conditions prompting the closure of Eleuthera's glass window bridge until further notice.
Officials will continue to monitor conditions, and an update will be given when conditions are once again favorable. In the meantime, residents are asked to exercise caution and care if they must traverse the bridge.
Now, for more on what's happening in weather, Family Island weather that is, we turn to Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makisha. We have partly cloudy skies, temperature cool 65 degrees, the relative humidity at 85%. The winds are out of the west-southwest at some 21 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,003.5 millibars, that's 29.73 inches. And your temperatures around the Family Islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 64 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Grand Torquay in Abaco, Marshall Abaco at 65, 67 in the Berry Islands. Alice Bimini, 72, 67 in Harbor Island and Roxanne, Eleuthera. Fresh Creek at Central Andros at 64. Camp Space on Andros. Black Point Exuma reporting 65. Artistan, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey at 69 degrees. 71 in Georgetown, Exuma. Ragged Island, Clarence Town, Long Island, and Crooked Island at 72. Betsy Bay, McWanna 74, Ackland 74, Matthew Tiny Nagua a little warm at 81 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 77 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center. In the northwestern islands tonight, those winds are going to be northwest at 20 to 30 knots, gusting up to 40 knots at times. Very rough sea conditions at 8 to 12 feet over the ocean. Low tide, that will take place at 10:43 tonight, and small craft are asked to simply stay in port. Now, as we take you into the central and southeastern islands tonight, west to northwest flow at 20 to 30 knots as well. Very rough seas, 8 to 12 feet over the ocean. Again, small craft are asked to stay in port. As we take you into Wednesday, though, those winds, they're going to be 20 to 25 knots out of the north, but that low pressure to the north of us will generate some extremely large swells, which will get up to 20 feet beginning tomorrow morning, and that will impact all of the islands exposed to the Atlantic Ocean on their eastern side, and that's from Abaco in the north all the way down to Crooked Island in the south, and even the Turks and Caicos Islands. They could experience some of these heavy swells up to 20 feet tomorrow, and then we will see that subside a little later on as we head into Thursday. Northeasterly flow, those swells also become northeast, and they will taper off to about 15 feet on Thursday. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet over the ocean as a result of the wind speeds. Now, your high tide on Thursday, that will take place at 6:11 in the morning, with your low tide at 12:41 in the afternoon. And that's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Just the other night, he had you snatched up,
and that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, the extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Want to have your voice heard? Send your letters to the editor to digitalmedia@znsbahamas.com. Share your thoughts on current events or positive stories within your community. That's digitalmedia@znsbahamas.com. We want to hear from you.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. High school hoops taking center stage as yesterday the Bahamas Association of Independent Secondary Schools basketball championships getting underway at the Kendall Isaacs Gym. Now, all four of the best 2 of 3s getting rolling with their respective game ones. Amajal Knowles with the details.
8 teams, 4 games. A packed Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium yesterday for Game 1 of the BAISS Basketball Championships, with the best private school basketball teams competing for a shot to be crowned the best in their divisions. Up first, the junior girls. I will see a showdown between the St. John's Green Giants and the Sac Big Red Machine. A wire-to-wire contest that would come down to the final minute. Ultimately, the Giants would move one step closer to redemption and hoisting that championship trophy, putting a stop to the Big Red Machine at 25-21.
Hey, it ain't finished. It ain't finished. We ain't finished. We celebrate after we win on Wednesday.
We were a little lax on defense, and so that threw us off our game.
Over in junior boys, it would be the pennant winners, St. John's, yet again, who have yet to suffer a loss this season, squaring off against the Queens College Comets. QC would look like a giant killer early on, giving SJC all they could handle, but the momentum would flip in the third quarter, where the Giants would begin to pour it on, and they would ultimately take game 1 of 45-37.
I saw some guys said hunger and they're ready to be champions. They came out there. We started off a little lethargic, started a little sluggish in the beginning, but third quarter they picked it up and they played St. John's basketball the rest of the way.
Over to the senior girls, St. John's taking the court yet again, this time their opponent, the Kingsway Saints. And this one was an instant classic that would need extra time to find a winner after being deadlocked after 4 quarters of play. And in pressure environments, you tend to see star-making performances. Cue up St. John's point guard Rihanna Green, who would slither her way to the basket for this tough floater to put SJC ahead with 4 seconds to go in OT. And this would ultimately prove caught of the Saints. St. John's escaping with the 37-35 Game 1 win.
Well, it was a lot. It was stressful, but I think we did really good. Like, we pulled it off in the end. We kept that energy and intensity, and I'm proud of us, to be honest.
Tell me what you saw in the last play, what you saw in the defense.
What I saw it was like a lack. They was confused. They didn't know what to play, so I took advantage of that. So, yeah.
Finally, in senior boys, we would see a classic showdown between the defending BAISS senior boys champions, the C.W. Saunders Cougars, and the Kingsway Academy Saints. And this one would really be a duel between 2 of the best players in the BAISS. The Cougars would storm to a 27-9 lead after 1. Kingsway guard Rajan Smith would pick up 2 early fouls. However, that lead would be short-lived as he made his return to the floor and would go on a scoring rampage of his own to cut the Cougars' lead to 2. And despite 37 points from Smith and an amazing individual effort, it would be 34 points from the Cougars' Raymond Woods that would propel C.W. Saunders to the 71-61 win.
Hey, when you didn't prepare all season long and your kids decide to come out the system, it's just discipline. You know, at this stage, you get 1 day, they got to rest. Some kids get banged up tonight, so it's just reiterating discipline. That's the bottom line.
Game 2 of each series will resume on Wednesday at the Kendall G. Isaacs Gymnasium. For ZNS Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
All right, thanks, Amo. And speaking of high school basketball, the Huck Campbell basketball tournament will be back for another installment a little bit sooner than usual this time around. Charles Fisher tells us more.
Under the theme, Excellence, Sportsmanship and Unity, the 40th Huck Campbell basketball tournament is a go. Making the announcement was new school principal Carmen Richards-Miller.
The Tiger family is so excited as we host our 40th Huck Campbell tournament. We're looking for our athletes from all over the length and breadth of the Bahamas. You are all welcome. Grand Bahama, Abaco, Bimini, New Providence, your public schools, private schools, they will all be there. And so we're inviting you to come out and cheer for your favorite team.
Now, the dates have been pushed up a bit to February 16th through the 22nd. All games at the Kendall Isaacs Gym. Chairman of the championships, Paul Adley.
We have experienced some challenges. Being an early date, of course, it's usually during the midterm season.
And as a result, it not being on the midterm seasons, we are concerned whether or not we will attract that same crowd of those persons who normally travel to attend the tournament. But we had to make major adjustments because other sports were going on, like G2 and so Grand Bahama will not be in until Monday, even though we start from Friday. So that's a big adjustment we have to make in reference to our pools. Also, some of our other family islands also having their events going on. Also, we have Long Island, who is competing with us, who's having a major tournament during that time, who would have wanted to be a part of our tournament, but unfortunately cannot be. So we have faced some challenges financially, and also based on setting up our team, our pools, and making provision for our tournament this year.
And for the first time, the championship game will be held on a Thursday instead of the usual Monday. And the pools expected to be released early next week.
Government students will be on midterm break, so we're hoping the day sessions will be covered by those students who are on midterm break, and it's another activity for them to do instead of being distracted during the midterm season. Season passes are all available on Monday of next week, and you can also buy VIP tickets. They're going quickly, so come and get your VIP tickets or get your season passes.
Adley urging everyone to get on board and support the young ballers of the country.
This opportunity to send a clarion call to our sponsors. I'm requesting your assistance as usual. Those who are usually our sponsors and those who wish to come on board, we welcome you. You can contact us at our school, or we have our Facebook page under the Huck Campbell Basketball Tournament. You can reach out to us. It's live.
Once again, an early jump for the 40th Huck Campbell Basketball Tournament, February 16th through the 22nd at the Kendall G.L. Isaacs Gymnasium. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
And the New Providence Basketball Association doubleheader last night at the AF Valley Gym. Alexander Royal, he had 17 points, 10 rebounds. Zachary Penniman, 16, and Trufillo Darville, 12. As the Leno Regulators, they got a nice win over Island Development Rebels, 81-69. That's Division 1. Meanwhile, in Division 2, Martin Conliffe, 30 points. Theo Ferguson, 19 points, 13 boards, and Arnold Stubbs had 11. The Essential Food Store cashing out the Produce Express Rockets 83-60 behind 26 from Brandon Strawn, Matthew Saunders 22, and Samar Rowe, who helped out with 12. Meanwhile, so action set to continue later on this week. We'll give you details from that coming up a bit later on. That is your check on sports for you tonight. I'm Marcellus Hall. Stick around. The weather is coming up.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Got termites and need to get rid of them fast? Trust Rentokil Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rentokil Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rentokil Initial.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather on a satellite picture showing that area of low pressure now to the north of the Bahamas, continuing to spin anti-clockwise, and that will generate some very large swells over the next several days. We will see swells up to 20 feet beginning tomorrow all along the east coast of these islands, from Abaco in the north into Eleuthera, Cat Island, San Salvador, Rum Cay, all the way down to Crooked Island and Acklands, and even the Turks and Caicos Islands. They will get some of these swells as well beginning tomorrow. And then we will see the swells subsiding to about 10 feet as we head into the weekend. So it's same for the balance of this week. Going to be some very dangerous boating conditions out there for you boaters. Very windy, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers tonight. Your low temperature, a chilly 61 degrees. And then tomorrow, this is how things are going to shape up. Very, very windy again tomorrow. There'll be some sunshine with some patchy clouds with your high temperature getting up to 75 degrees. Standard weather forecast, well, we will eventually see some sunshine as of Thursday. That will carry us through the weekend, and we'll see those temperatures in the mid-70s during the daytime. But with the very strong winds, it will certainly feel a lot cooler than the temperatures are actually reporting. Now, your low temperatures, 61 degrees on Monday, on Wednesday, pardon me, and then we'll see a slight warming trend as we head into the weekend, with temperatures getting back up into the 80s during the daytime, nighttime temperatures in the upper 60s, and yet when we get into the early part of next week, we will see some temperatures dropping again. Makishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. From seeds donated by the Atlantis Resort and using a small parcel of land on the school's campus, Sandoval Primary students have created their very own little backyard farming. The 6th grade class, 6C that is, and their teacher, Debbie Jagru, have been working really hard for their first harvest. Principal Katharina Williams says it's been a real lesson for the students who experience some of the setbacks that happen in farming, as well as the reaping in the case of the crops of their labor.
In December, we had some disappointments. The rodents came and ripped through our farm, but we came back and we rebuilt, thanks to our teacher, Mrs. Jagru, and her students, this 6th grade. They have worked really hard, and so we were able to make a presentation, of course, to ZNS and to Atlantis of some carrots, some tomatoes, some thyme, oregano, sweet peppers, eggplants. We did an awesome job. We're excited. It may be small to some people, but we see the future of teaching our children to eat what they grow. And so that's where our future is.
Well, that does it for the Bahamas Tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. And from all of us, we'd like to wish our Desmond Saunders a very happy birthday. Thank you all for watching, and good night.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Who didn't eat up all the food? And drink down all the rum sweet. We can scrape it dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Who didn't eat up all the food? Didn't drink down all the rum sweet. We can scrape it dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient man. Now you done.
You're watching the ZNS